Hey guys, it's Fronzilla here, and today I want to tell you, here in my garage, nah, screw that, you guys know I'm not going to do that to you. I'm actually here to talk to you about the BMW i8, specifically living with the BMW i8, because I know a lot of you are infatuated with this car, and you want to know what it's like to own one, so let's talk about it. So I've owned the BMW i8 for about 7 months now, and I have to say, it definitely is a one-of-a-kind, amazing car. It's definitely extremely futuristic, to say the least. And let's talk about some of the things that I really love and don't love about this car. So first of all, the design. Beautiful. Look at it. Just look at it. That ass. Beautiful. Those doors, beautiful. These cutouts everywhere you look, beautiful. Those high profile tires, look at that. It's stock and it barely has any wheel gap. The i8 has less of a wheel gap than my Ferrari 458 Italia. What the hell? These doors, this interior, look at it. It's beautiful. So that's the obvious thing, though, I feel like. One thing I like about the design is actually that everything you see here is functional. It looks like they just cut out stuff and went crazy with it, but it actually has function. All of this is for extra downforce and aerodynamics and reducing drag. Everything you see actually has a purpose. So the design is probably one of the first things you notice about the i8, and it's just beautiful no matter what way you cut it. There's just lots of interesting things about this. You learn something new every day about this car. I have to mention one really cool feature about the i8 that you guys probably do not know about. So I've talked about the crazy form and function, but right down here you'll notice there's a little slip right in here, and what this slip does is it creates a wind curtain that comes out right here and creates a wind curtain that goes around your tire to reduce drag, because BMW found out that about 1/3 of your drag comes from the tires. So by creating this little slipstream and this air curtain that comes out there, it creates less drag, which is awesome, because the whole concept of this car is reducing drag, increasing gas mileage, increasing performance. You don't really get a lot of trunk space with the i8, which is cool. Typically this cover's closed. The engine is below this little leather area, so you've got like, what is this, like 8 or 10 inches of space that you could stick something small right there. And if you lift this up, you've got a small compartment here which could fit, you know, a couple backpacks or some groceries. Nothing too major. So you know, it's definitely functional if you want to call this a supercar, you know, compared to other cars of its caliber. You can actually put groceries in it, or you could put a couple backpacks. You could take a weekend trip with this car, which I've done plenty of times, and it's actually a great, like, yo, let's hop in the car and go to Miami and blah blah blah. It's great for stuff like that. So yeah. So why did I choose the i8? Well, for one, I already have a 2-door supercar, the 458, so I don't really need another 2-seater. Well, you're probably thinking, well, the BMW is a 2-seater, but actually it has a back seat, and I have a 4-year-old son who loves to ride in this thing. I also have a younger son too, but he's too young to ride in this yet. But I've got his car seat there, and me and him drive this all the time. He loves the i8. We call it the spaceship. So this is a big reason that I chose the i8, is I wanted something fast, functional, with the back seat for my little dude. Okay, so besides the beautiful design, I have to say my favorite thing about the i8 is all the different driving modes and all the different personalities that this car has. So let's start from the bottom. Well, it doesn't even matter if I close this door because now that one's open. But yeah, let's start from the bottom. So right here, if you hit this button right here, you are now in fully electric mode. You're not using any gasoline at all. And if I was fully charged, I could probably go about 20 miles or so. That's awesome. I don't really drive in electric mode ever, but the fact that I could is cool, because if I ran out of gas or whatever, I can just run full electric and blah blah blah, hug a tree, save the environment, whatever. So this is one of the personalities I'm talking about. Fully electric, you're basically driving a super fast golf cart. Now if we take that off, you can go into Eco Pro mode. And Eco Pro basically gets you the best gas mileage possible. It's going to maximize using the electric over the gasoline. And yeah, if I were to actually obey the speed limit and drive slow, I would probably get upwards of 80 miles per gallon. Take that, Prius. But yeah, I don't really drive slow, so that doesn't apply to me. Now another personality it has is comfort mode. And with comfort mode, you're basically just gonna get your everyday driving mode. So comfortable, not too obnoxious, not too slow, not really caring about gas mileage. It's just your normal mode. Now, if you smack this lever to the left, the beast comes on. And this is where you get sport mode, which is pretty much what I drive in 99% of the time. And what sport mode does is it fully turns on your engine, so you're not going to get that engine off, engine on, intermittent type of deal. You're going to just get full engine, full electric, full everything, the whole 9 yards, everything. So this is the best mode to put it in. But yeah, I mean, I think what I really love about the i8 is it has 4 different personalities, and it can go from fully electric to fully beast mode when you put it in sport, and that's badass to me. And having driven the 458 over there a ton, it's cool as hell to me that this hybrid car is pretty much just as fast as the 458, and that's awesome. So I think that's really cool. It can be really calm and reserved, I guess, or it can be a beast, and I think that's really cool about the i8. Oh yeah, one more thing I like. The gas mileage is pretty cool. Not because I can't afford gas, but because I don't like stopping at the gas station all the time. And in the i8, even though I drive it a lot, I only go to the gas station like once every few weeks or once a month. And when I do go to the gas station, it's like even using the best gas, the most expensive gas they have, it's only like a $25 fill up. So it's really not bad, which is awesome. And it only takes about 10 gallons or so to fill this thing up. So that's really awesome. So you know, it's kind of dumb if you're buying a $150,000 car, you're not really worried about gas prices or whatever, but it's nice to not really fill up much, just because of the fact that I don't always want to be at the gas station. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot of really cool things about this car, and if you're thinking about getting an i8, I would definitely consider it, especially since the market right now for used i8s, they're starting to go down in value because BMW kind of oversaturated the market and put a lot of these out there. So maybe even just wait a little longer until the i8s are dropping even more in price and come in on it, because it's a great car and you'll love it. So I've talked about a bunch of things that I love about the i8, so now let's talk about some things that I hate about the i8 to kind of balance the scale, I suppose. So I think, you know, because this is a new car and they probably have a lot of kinks to work out, there's definitely some really annoying features or annoying problems, to say the least. So one thing that really annoys me is if sometimes the backup camera doesn't even come on, which I think that's almost like a safety hazard, because when you're looking at the backup camera reversing and then it cuts away, all of a sudden you have to rely on your own head to see it. God, first world problems. But I just don't like that the backup camera cuts out, because I don't feel like it should ever cut out, because that's more of a safety thing than anything. So the backup camera cuts out sometimes. The parking cameras and sensors are not always very reliable. Sometimes they kind of mislead you. Little problems like that. Back to some other problems. They say that the BMW i8 has lane change assist. It doesn't. And it's kind of like, why would you tell me that it has that when it doesn't? Another thing that I was told by, the description, by the dealers, by the salesman, by everyone is the BMW i8 has memory seat features. All you have to do is lock the car in whatever seat position you want it to be in, and it'll save your settings. Nah, that didn't happen. There's no memory seat settings in this, and once again, these are like first world problems, of course, but my fiance is like basically borderline midget. She's like 4 foot tall, and I'm 6'3". So if she drives or if I drive, we have to change and change and change and change the mirrors and change the seat and change everything. The steering wheel, you name it. So it's kind of like, in the Mercedes, you tap a button and it does it for you. So I don't know, at least if that wasn't a feature with the i8, I wish they would have at least said that that's not a feature. That's, I guess, my problem with that. Don't tell me it has memory seat settings if it doesn't, because that's lying. Lying ain't cool. So that's another annoying feature. Another annoying thing about the i8 that I dislike is if you're in, let's say you're in comfort setting where it's not fully engine, it's not fully electric, just kind of in between. Well, there's times where you'll be driving and it'll be using mostly electric, and then the engine kicks in and it will just jolt you, and it's really kind of abnormal and uncomfortable. And I know it's just part of being a hybrid, but it's definitely something you have to get used to. As you apply more pressure to the gas pedal, the engine might cut in and jerk you around, and if you've never felt that before, it's probably going to freak you out. So it's definitely weird, but now I've driven it for so long that I've just kind of learned how to gauge it, and like I said, I usually just keep it in sport mode all the time, so that's not an issue for me. Let's see what else is annoying about the i8. I feel like I'm just trying to find problems with it now. There really isn't many problems. It's a great car. One more thing that I failed to mention. So I know I talked about the design of the i8 and how beautiful it is, but I need to address this also. The attention that you get in this car is insane. And keep in mind, I've driven Ferraris, I've driven Lamborghinis, you name it, I've probably driven it. So I know what people's reactions to other cars are like. The reaction to the BMW i8 is far crazier than the reaction that you get in a Lamborghini. So the attention that you get with this car is crazy. So one big thing I would say to leave you guys off with is, if you don't like attention and you don't like talking to people about cars all the time, which isn't a problem with me, don't get the i8. If you're a shy person and you don't want a ton of people asking you questions, don't get the i8, because people are gonna follow you, people are gonna ask questions all the time whenever you do stop for gas or a restaurant or whatever. Everybody is going to be asking you questions. Everybody's going to be staring. People are going to ask to take photos with your car, blah, 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 you name it. So not a bad thing at all, but if you are a shy person that really doesn't like to interact with people, this car is not for you. So yeah, just beware of that and keep that in mind. And if you like attention and you want a car that gets more attention than a Lamborghini, this is the car. Without a doubt, you will love this. This is for you. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if there's anything that I failed to mention about the i8, feel free to leave a comment below and I will answer as many as possible. Thanks.